And now Soul's done, and now we're on Spark Shorts, and I'm happy to say now I'm like a director of photography on Spark Shorts, and also doing modeling and rigging. So again, the skills that you learned before will not be wasted. All right, so what do you need to know as a layout artist in animation? Because you're behind the camera. Oh, it says in front of the camera. Actually, it's behind the camera. What you need to know is what's in front of the camera for sure. You're basically building both sides because in live action, basically the whatever's in front of the camera is done by others, like the actors, your lighting people, your gaffer, your set person. But in animation, the camera artist actually does both. Not to the final, but we have to set up something to shoot. So that's how it is. So camera staging in animation. I always say this to everyone, how important is the camera. So if the eye is the window to the soul, then the camera is going to guide your eye, and then it's going to move your soul. So it's very important when you see like a giant screen of the film. That's actually basically the collective audience's eye, and you have the control of it. You make them look left, make them look right, make them look up and down. So you're basically God. You basically have control of their head. Um, and then another thing to know is camera staging is the first step into 3D in a shot production. So I know there's like assets production, like there's the characters and the set, but camera staging is the first step. That's why a lot of directors are very excited to see it, because it's finally seeing something in the context of a shot. Like from here on, it's gonna just be what we're seeing. Like we're not seeing everything in 360 anymore, and we're starting to think about composition, and we're gonna start to think about how things cut together. So because we're the first step, that's why I said like we have to take care of what's in front and what's behind the camera. So the assembly of assets is part of the process. And we also, because we're the first step, we also have to solve a lot of problems in a lot of creative ways. Just so we can have a head start and visualize for other departments. So if there's an explosion or some lighting effects, like camera and staging should time those out just so that we know how the camera is going to move to it. Like how big is the explosion? Do we need a wider shot or no? Like, and then from there on we can inform like the effects department, like this is how big your explosion can get. So I think it's a very, very important step. Oftentimes, I've seen a lot of projects where I understand there's no budget, but they want to like cut corners and they want to cut camera staging process. They just like, why don't we just build the model, rig it, and then animate? Um, and then they will soon find out that the animators can't focus just on the acting anymore. They have to figure out the logistics of like they're gonna move here to here for how long, and then do the acting. So it's taking away time from animation, which I personally feel like it's like telling the actors to set up their own uh, place instead of when you hire actors, they come in, they should just be so into the character and act, and they shouldn't care about anything else. So I think the camera staging should at least be someone there. Just don't skip that step, because it's going to save you a lot of time later, because there's camera staging department thinks about things that will affect the entire film down the line, and just so that other departments down the line don't have to think about it. So we're the thinkers, I guess. So the fundamentals of an animated camera is still rooted in the live action camera. So I'm going to go through these three things. very, very important to remember that live action is a good way to study the technical camera choices. So just like the previous talk, Matush talk about how you can't, if you're making an animated film, you can't just look at animation, because I love his analogy of like, you're basically just eating a food that was taken out from another refrigerator, that was eaten and then like puked out, and then you eat it again. Like, it's not gonna be fresh, and um, you're just gonna copy people's shot in animation, and we can tell. Like, I have seen films that come out that I'm just like, oh, this reminds me of Big Hero 6,